Hey, fifth graders, here is your video for your guided notes on this one for your plate tectonics. Again, please watch the instruction video first. It is about 13 minutes because this one's a little dense, meaning it's got a lot of information in a short amount of time. But here is your video for your guided notes as well. All right, so the first one asks you to label the layers of the Earth and to draw a line to each layer in order to label it. So luckily scientists did a nice job with this one. And so they just labeled the inner core, the smallest one on the very inside. So we can draw an arrow right there. The outer core is actually the next one up. Yay, scientists did a nice job with this one. Inner core is the innermost, outer core is the next one. Then the mantle is really what we spent most of the day talking about. Most of the time talking about is that liquid mantle. So that's actually the next one. It's actually one of the bigger ones too. And then we've got our crust. And just like a pizza, it's the outermost one. And it's also the thinnest one. So that is that first one for us there. Now, it says plates move by the process of, this one is that mantle convection cells. Now remember, that's like when we had that hot burner and things got hot and then they rose and then things started to cool off and they came back down. All right, your next one has 3 pictures and it asks you to name each type of boundary above the image. So the first one is our 2 plates pulling apart. That is our divergent. Now our divergent boundary again is pulling apart. The next one pushing together is convergent. And the last one, when they slide past each other, is transform. All right, next one says for your divergent. So again, now we're talking about the one on the way left over here, and we're pulling apart, divergent. As the plates move apart, new material is erupted to fill the gap. All right. Now on to our convergent. There's actually 3 different kinds of convergent boundaries. The first one is when 2 continental crusts collide. So we call this a consonant-consonant collision. It actually ends up forming mountains. Plates push together. They push together to create the mountain. Now the next one is a consonant oceanic collision. This is when a continental crust and an oceanic crust meet. One is going to go under the other and it is called subduction. So continent oceanic process is called subduction. One plate slides under the other. Now, the last one we have here is when 2 oceanic plates meet. This is called an ocean-ocean collision, and they can form a trench. Now, the last type of transaction is your transform boundary, this one where they slide past each other. So plates slide past each other. And the example of this is the San Andreas Fault, where there's lots of earthquakes. All right, and those are our notes for today. So I would say the 3 biggest takeaways would be these 3 pictures and knowing the names of those. So let's put a star by those. And the next one I think is really important is the subduction word. So this is where we see a lot of action. So I'd say to know these three and to know this one. That's really where our focus should be. Thank you for doing a nice job. See you tomorrow.